Scroll through Instagram for 30 seconds and you'll see Iceland's empty waterfalls, Dubai's golden skyline, and Bali's tranquil rice terraces. It all looks flawless, peaceful, perfect. But here's the thing. Social media is a highlight reel, not a documentary. What you don't see are the cruise ship mobs in Santorini, the diesel fumes choking Paris, or the traffic jams that turn a 5-minute Bali drive into an hour-long nightmare. Some destinations have become so filtered, so polished, so curated, that the gap between expectation and reality has become a canyon. And when travelers finally arrive, the shock can be real. Here you have 11 countries that look like paradise online, but tell a very different story on the ground. Welcome to countries that look one way online, but aren't. Iceland, the price of popularity. Located in the North Atlantic, Iceland is world-renowned for its dramatic volcanic landscapes and the northern lights. Statistically, this island nation of just 390,000 people now welcomes over 2.2 million foreign tourists annually. While your feed shows solitary hikers at Skogafoss, the reality in 2026 is a logistical hurdle. Popular sites along the Golden Circle often suffer from extreme overcrowding, with boardwalks packed shoulder to shoulder. Furthermore, the economic reality is a shock. Iceland consistently ranks as one of the most expensive countries globally. With the average cost of a basic burger reaching $25 and gas prices soaring, the budget road trip aesthetic is often a myth. Over-tourism has forced the government to implement strict camping laws and tourist taxes to protect the fragile tundra. What was once a silent, mystical escape has become a high-traffic, high-cost outdoor museum, where finding a moment of true, quiet solitude requires trekking far beyond the reach of the paved ring road. United Arab Emirates, the Gilded Heat. The United Arab Emirates, specifically the desert metropolis of Dubai, is famous for the Burj Khalifa and its City of the Future reputation. Online, it's a playground of Lamborghinis and gold-plated lattes. Statistically, Dubai's population is set to hit 4 million in 2026, but nearly 90% are expatriates. Beyond the glitter, the reality is a climate of extremes. Summer temperatures frequently exceed 45 degrees Celsius, 113 degrees Fahrenheit, making the walkable luxury promenades you see online practically unusable for half the year. Life here is governed by strict local laws that contrast sharply with the liberal party vibe shown on social media. Additionally, the city's rapid growth relies on a massive migrant labor force that faces significant socio-economic challenges, often hidden from the tourist gaze. While the skyline is breathtaking, the reality is a highly controlled, air-conditioned environment, where the heat and the rigid social hierarchy create a much more complex atmosphere than the carefree, ultra-luxury lifestyle portrayed by influencers. Thailand, the ethical veneer. Thailand, located in Southeast Asia, is known as the Land of Smiles, famous for the glittering temples of Bangkok and the limestone cliffs of Phuket. While Instagram highlights ethical elephant sanctuaries and pristine white sand beaches, the 2026 reality is more complicated. A recent 2026 report revealed that nearly 2/3 of captive elephants in the tourism industry still live in poor conditions, with many sanctuaries being mere rebrands of exploitative parks. Environmental degradation is also a major factor. Many famous bays have faced temporary closures due to coral damage and plastic pollution from the millions of visitors. Statistically, tourism accounts for about 12% of Thailand's GDP, leading to massive overcrowding in spots like Maya Bay. Visitors expecting a spiritual, quiet retreat often find themselves navigating tourist traps, aggressive street marketing, and polluted waterways. The serene paradise shown in travel vlogs is frequently replaced by the reality of mass commercialization and the hidden environmental cost of maintaining that perfect tropical image. Italy, the theme park effect. Italy is the ultimate European dream, known for the romantic canals of Venice and the Renaissance art of Florence. Online, it looks like a slow-paced life of wine and handmade pasta. However, in 2026, hotspots like Venice have moved toward a theme park model to survive. To combat the 30 million annual visitors, Venice now requires a mandatory entry fee of up to €10 for day trippers on peak dates. The reality of a gondola ride is often a traffic jam in a murky canal, surrounded by hundreds of other boats. In Rome and Florence, the authentic local shops are increasingly replaced by overpriced souvenir stalls and global chains. Statistically, the sheer volume of tourists has driven many locals out of the historic centers, leaving behind a beautiful but hollowed-out version of Italian life. The romanticized La Dolce Vita is hard to find when you're waiting 2 hours in line for a cathedral or navigating through aggressive selfie stick vendors. Indonesia, the Bali bottleneck. Bali, a volcanic island in Indonesia, is the world's capital for yoga retreats and digital nomads. Online, it's a lush green sanctuary of rice terraces and infinity pools. The reality in 2026 is a struggle against its own success. Bali produces approximately 1.2 million tons of plastic waste annually, and trash season often leaves the once pristine beaches of Kuta and Seminyak covered in debris. The traffic is equally legendary. A journey that should take 10 minutes can take an hour due to the narrow roads being overwhelmed by thousands of scooters and tourist vans. While influencers post about cultural bliss, the island's infrastructure is buckling under the weight of overdevelopment. Areas like Canggu have transformed from quiet villages into noisy, concrete hubs of nightlife and construction. For many travelers, the spiritual awakening they seek is often interrupted by the roar of engines and the sight of garbage-choked rivers that the cameras always manage to crop out. Greece, the Santorini gridlock. Santorini, an island in the southern Aegean Sea, is famous for the blue-domed churches of Oya and its spectacular sunsets. Online, it appears as a quiet, whitewashed paradise. In reality, during the 2026 cruise season, the island is a case study in human gridlock. With several ships carrying over 5,000 passengers, each arriving on the same day, the narrow cobblestone alleys become almost impassable. The private infinity pools seen in luxury ads are often situated directly beneath public walkways, where hundreds of tourists peer over walls to take photos, shattering any sense of intimacy. Statistically, the island struggles to manage its water and waste for a population that swells 10 times its size in summer. What looks like a peaceful, romantic getaway is often a stressful scramble for a photo spot, where the magic of the sunset is experienced through the glow of 1,000 smartphone screens, rather than the beauty of the horizon itself. France, the Paris syndrome. France, and specifically its capital Paris, is the most visited city in the world. Online, it's the city of light, a slow-paced dream of clean monuments and chic cafes. The reality is a gritty, bustling metropolis of over 2 million people that smells more of diesel and tobacco than perfume. This gap between expectation and reality is so severe it's coined Paris syndrome, a documented psychological state where tourists, mostly from Japan, experience dizzy spells, hallucinations, and anxiety upon realizing the city isn't a movie set. In 2026, the city remains a hub of political protests, aggressive scammers near the Eiffel Tower, and a notable rat problem in public parks. While the Louvre is magnificent, the experience involves navigating massive crowds and tight security. Paris is a real working city with all the grime and tension that entails, making the dreamy version of it a high-pressure illusion that many visitors find difficult to reconcile. Morocco, the hustle of the Medina. Morocco, located in North Africa, is known for the vibrant souks of Marrakesh and the dunes of the Sahara. Online, it's a magical world of colorful spices and intricate architecture. However, first-time visitors in 2026 often face an intense culture shock. The reality of the Marrakesh Medina is a labyrinth of aggressive sales tactics and helpful locals who demand payment for unwanted directions. Scams such as the road is closed or inflated prices for authentic argan oil are widespread. Statistically, while Morocco is generally safe, the psychological weight of constant haggling can be exhausting. The serene desert camp photos often skip the reality of long, bumpy 10-hour van rides and the commercialized nature of the nomadic experience. Behind the beautiful mosaics lies a high-energy hustle where every interaction can feel like a transaction. For the unprepared, the magical atmosphere is quickly overshadowed by the stress of navigating a landscape designed to extract as many dirhams as possible. India, the filterless intensity. India is a vast South Asian nation celebrated for the Taj Mahal and its spiritual heritage. Online, it's portrayed as a land of colorful festivals and inner peace. The reality is an overwhelming assault on the senses. In 2026, over 44% of Indian cities face chronic air pollution, with Delhi often recording PM 2.5 levels 10 times the safe limit. The noise pollution is equally intense. The constant din of honking horns in cities like Noida and Mumbai can reach 72 decibels, far above healthy levels. While spirituality is real, it exists alongside extreme poverty and infrastructure that is often crumbling. Visitors expecting the Eat, Pray, Love experience are often confronted with the chaos of the great Indian bustle. Massive crowds, intense heat, and a lack of sanitation in public spaces. It is a country of profound beauty, but it is never filtered. It is loud, messy, and deeply complicated, offering a reality that is far more raw than any Instagram reel suggests. Japan, the isolated perfection. Japan is an East Asian archipelago known for its hyper-clean cities and polite culture. Online, it looks like a seamless, futuristic utopia. In reality, Japan in 2026 is grappling with a record-breaking surge in inbound tourism that has led to over-tourism measures in 100 different regions. First-timers are often shocked by how isolating the language barrier can be. Japan recently ranked 96th in global English proficiency. The reality of the polite culture is a set of rigid, unwritten etiquette rules that can be stressful for foreigners to navigate, from trash disposal to train silence. Popular spots like Kyoto's Gion district have even banned tourists from certain streets to protect residents. Furthermore, the reliance on cash and the difficulty of booking restaurants without a local number can make travel surprisingly difficult. The perfect image of Japan hides a society that is deeply traditional, and often overwhelmed by the very tourists who come to admire its quiet order. Egypt, the urban sphinx. Egypt, a bridge between Africa and the Middle East, is the home of the Great Pyramids of Giza. Online, the pyramids sit in majestic, silent isolation in the middle of a golden desert. The reality is a jarring juxtaposition. The pyramids are actually located on the literal edge of Giza, a loud, dusty, and impoverished urban neighborhood. Instead of the silence of the Sphinx, you are met with the roar of car horns and the persistent shouting of souvenir hawkers. Statistically, Egypt is investing heavily in a 2026 master plan to clean up the area, but currently the experience is defined by aggressive scammers and camel ride operators who won't take no for an answer. The desert solitude you see in photos is usually achieved by pointing the camera away from the Pizza Hut and the sprawling apartment blocks just a few hundred yards from the Sphinx's paws. It is an incredible archaeological site, but the timeless atmosphere is a carefully cropped digital illusion. 11 destinations that prove the internet isn't always honest. Does that mean you shouldn't visit these places? Absolutely not. It just means you should go in prepared, not catfished. And if you think you've seen it all, wait until you see what's hiding along America's coastline. Before you go, click on American cities most at risk for natural disasters and discover which U.S. cities are sitting on fault lines, hurricane paths, wildfire zones, and floodplains. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and step into the hidden side of the world with Oddly Abroad.